support, and you can be a part of this. All you have to do is raise your hands and ask Allah to accept. And then if you would share, that's more reward for you. Share the information. Share these free Qurans. freequran.com. And you can donate too. $1 for the Quran and $6 total puts it in the house. Yeah. And if you would like to do more, that's more than welcome for freequran.com. Assalamu alaikum. These are boxes of a free Quran, and we have truckloads of a free Quran, and I'm Yusuf Estes. And we're coming to you almost live from our, not studios, and not California. Where are we?
In the masjid.
In a masjid somewhere in New Jersey. Right? Huh? What is the name of the city?
Princeton Junction.
Huh?
Princeton Junction.
West Windsor.
Windsor Junction.
Princeton Junction.
Princeton Junction. But you do have junk in there. All right. That's cool. We always play with the names of the places we go. And the most fun I have is going to his place in many apples and many sodas. Can you guess where that is? Many apples and many sodas. Yeah. But I didn't even find one. They say many, so got to go along with the flow. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I'm going to open up the program for any questions along the way. If you have a question, just put up your hand and say, I have a question. And so anything that we're talking about, you can chime in right away. It's not a Jummah khutbah. You have the right, and maybe some people would have the same question watching the program, and that would be really good. And especially if I knew the answer. Oh, by the way, one of the sheikhs told me, I'm going to give you an answer for every single thing. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be here for 6 months. But he did it in one day. He gave me the answer to anything, the correct answer for any question. I thought, that's really good. Yeah. And maybe we'll get around to talking about that. Anyway, so we do have a lot of things going for the dawah. You knew that, right? Yeah. We have a television station and broadcasting over all of the United States and all of Canada and Alaska and Hawaii and most of the eastern seaboard out in the water, and even in the what do they call it? The Bermuda Triangle. We've gotten calls from there, yeah? Anyway, so, and northern Mexico. But now we're reaching into the prisons because a lot of people go into the prison for whatever reason, and then they become Muslims in the prison. And then they study and learn and get certificates. And I've handed out some of the certificates in different places in the prisons. I used to be a prison chaplain. Anyway, this is really a good idea. And we give them free Qurans. And a matter of fact, if anybody wants to give a translation of the Quran, not a real Quran, you know, a translation of the Quran, we do offer that for free. But if you would like to get the rewards with us, you can do so. And we have, I think a table is set up outside. I think there, yeah, okay. The sisters made it in, okay. They have a lot of material there that really is helpful. One of the thinnest books has 12 pages, and you have to turn the book like this to read it because it's going down the page. However, this is the best way to let somebody, just give them the book, because it's a comparison of the Quran and the Bible. Spot for spot. Now, the Quran is contextual. Most of you know that. It's in order. It has a subject. And then that context is broken to go to the next subject. And I'll give you one example. In Surah Baqarah, for instance, it says in 189, chapter 2, verse 189, if you go by the numbers like I do. You'll find it says Yasalunika, which means more or less they're asking you a question about the qamar, the moon, and going in to the bab, the back door of your house. And then it answers that question. It tells you that this is how we estimate the time of Hajj. And it doesn't say anything else about that, but we do use the moon to tag the months and know where it is in the month and so on. But it only mentions that particular one. Why? Because the next 4 or 5 ayat are talking about the Hajj, but they don't mention it. They don't mention it. How? This is in the context of it. Because, as most of you know, if you're in ihram, you can't kill anything. Is that right? Now, you didn't have to tell Arabs how to fight at that time. Nobody needed to tell them how to fight or how to kill people. However, why would they ask? And it doesn't say they asked, but it starts out with Yasalunika, and then it goes to another ayah, another ayah, another ayah. So if you're in tune with that, you figure out, that's why. Because in the ihram, you lose your hajj if you kill somebody. Not only that, if they're an innocent person, like you killed all the people on the earth. However, this is what some of the translators did. They were enemies of Islam, and they translated into the Latin language because English wasn't available at that time. Yeah? And they wanted to go into Jerusalem and wipe out any opposition. And they built this army And today we hear, cut their necks, cut their necks, cut their necks. Why? Nowhere in the Quran does it say that. But in the translation, it exactly says that. Did you know that? I'm going to share with you something that usually we don't have it in a conversation with somebody, but this is a fact. The first translations of the Quran were in the Latin language. Not the very first, but this was a long time ago, over 1,000 years ago. And the English language was not prevalent at that time. English didn't even get started until after the Normans invaded the Saxons in 1066 AD. So this Quran, or revelation that we have, had come out about 400 years before that, right? Now it says, fight them if they fight you, in the ayah. The translation says that. What word are they translating as fight? Qital. That's not fight. That's a bigger thing than fight. And it says, if they fight you, you can fight them. And it means in your, what am I talking about? The thing that you wear. Ihram, yeah. Let's see if you're paying attention. Anyway, so if you follow me, then I'll share with you this idea. If they fight you, you can fight them. But if they stop, you have to stop. Otherwise, you're the aggressor, and Allah doesn't love the aggressors. The next ayah, right after that, starts with waqtuluhum in the Arabic language. And they translate it as slaughter them wherever you find them. Yeah. And turn them out from where they turned you out. But they don't mention that. They just say they're going to slaughter us. They're going to cut our necks. Does it say that? No. The word for slaughter, most of you know this, dhabiha. That's slaughter, dhabiha. It's not even from the same root. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling them, because they're going for Hajj and they're going back to their homes and they're going back to Mecca, yeah, you get it. So that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling them, if they attack you while you're wearing the ihram, you can fight them and you don't lose your Hajj. But if they stop fighting, you can't knock them out. Now, the problem comes in, most of the English translators copied the ones before. And they put that in there, and they never thought about it. Now, some of them changed slaughter to slay. What does slay mean? It's an abbreviation for slaughter. You didn't do anything. So this is one of the contexts that most of us miss. And by the way, I learned that right here in this state, in New Jersey, from one of the experts in the explaining the context of the Quran. Another thing that we have that is really, really important for all of us right now is don't hesitate to translate the words Islam and Muslim. People
Recitation?
Recitation. Perfect. Wish I had left that the way it was. Anyway, alhamdulillah for everything. So recitation is exactly what the Quran, the first word that Gabriel, the angel Gabriel, gave to the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Iqra, right? What does that translate in English?
Read.
How many think it says read?
It comes from Qara, right? It comes from the root letter Qara.
Okay. You're talking about the roots in Arabic, right? Okay. What is the person called that stands here single Ramadan and recites the Quran? What is he called?
Qari.
A Qari. Is he a reader or a reciter?
Right.
So the ones who translated the Quran were enemies of Islam. Remember that. And they said we can prove it's wrong from the first word. And they used, and it's not exactly wrong, but it doesn't fit the situation. Somebody fabricated the hadith saying the Prophet responded to him, Ana Ummi, Ana Ummi, Ana Ummi. He didn't say that. He said, Ma Ana Bikari. Is that right? So, yeah, they translated it with a weaker word, and everybody thinks that it means read. And they tell their children, stay in school and get educated because the Quran says read. Well, it doesn't say that. It says recite. And it is a reciting. Now, to further implant that in your mind, how many times have you seen a blind person recite the Quran? Huh? Yeah? Every one of us has seen a blind person reciting Quran. Can they read?
No.
That's what we started with, and then we found out that that was not the best way to start, but anyway, this is a really...
In a way they can read, because it's the system that they follow is the braille, feeling.
No, because we have an entire television series with a brother that reads the Braille Quran.
Yeah, with the finger.
Yeah, but it's by
with his fingers.
Yeah.
His fingers.
He doesn't read, he feels. Yeah?
Okay.
He was born without eyes. So his mother told him, "You're not blind." Because blind means you don't have the use of your eyes. She says, you just don't have any eyes.
just can't see.
Whoa! When he went to school, the first time he didn't even know. He didn't know anything about that. He was just playing as a kid, and other kids come and play with him. So the first day of school, he come back and he said, "Mom, what's blind?" She said, "Who told you that word?" He said, "The teacher. I wanted to go out and play with the other kids, and she said, 'You can't go.' I said, 'Why?' She said, 'You're blind.' I want to know what's blind." She said, that's the occasion that she said it. "You're not blind, you just don't have any eyes." Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
Abu Hafsa.
Abu Hamza.
Abu Hafsa.
Abu Hafsa. Yeah, that's right. Hafsa. If you didn't notice, I'm hard of hearing now, because when I got off the plane in Doha, everything caved in my head. So, yeah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. There are certain subjects that we need to talk about, and hopefully we'll find a way to communicate that to others. Number one is the translations of the word Islam and the translations of the word Muslim, because they have already made up words and they're adding something in English or Latin actually to the end of the word Islam. Ik. Islam ik. That's not the word, is it? No. They made it up. Islamic terrorism. But when you think about it, what does the word mean? Anybody? Anybody? Yeah.
Submission.
Submission. Exactly what Google says. If you type in what is the word in Arabic word, Islam, mean in English, it said, and it says, continues, it says submission to Almighty God. That's good. But it's not everything, but it's accurate. What other words are in Islam? Anybody know?
Surrender, obey.
Surrender, obey. MashaAllah. That's cool. Somebody said peace. Who said peace? MashaAllah. That's in there too. The word Islam, salam, Islam, you get it? Yeah. But it's not, don't say, Islam is peace, Islam is peace. You know, don't go for that. Anyway, the idea that we're talking about is all of these words have to be present at the same time. Surrender, submission, obedience, and the one word we left out,
Okay.
sincerity. You have to be sincere with Allah. He does not accept 50%. 75%, 99.99%. He only accepts 100% of your commitment. If you have just a little bit of showing off, you lose it. Is that right or wrong? You know, just, I'm praying. Okay, not anymore. That brings us to, well, let's finish up that word. But praying is a very important thing. Surrender, submission, obedience, sincerity. There's still more words. Oh, and peace. Yeah, there's still more. When an Arab says goodbye, anybody speak Arabic? Yeah? When an Arab says goodbye to somebody, he says, Ma salama. It doesn't, Ma salama. It doesn't mean peace.
Safety.
What does it mean?
With safety, like see you again with like
And safe.
It's okay. It's a.
not the literal translation with
If you would like to say salam to them, you can just say salam. But ma salama, and you're talking to a person leaving. That's the only thing they say, the only time they use it. They don't say it to somebody coming to them, right? Why? Because it means go in safety. But it also has the word security, and everybody is talking about security. Security for your car, security for your house, security for your phone, security for your computer, security for everything. And cameras here and cameras there. I want to be secure, yeah? So there is security in this. Because it is the only way for us to succeed in this life. We're born and we die. We come into the world with nothing and we go out of it with nothing. All of the toys that we gather up in this life, we leave behind when we die. Everything, even the clothes. But we wrap it with a sheet. And it'll last for maybe 100 years. Maybe. The idea that I'm talking about is to communicate this way of life. Now, that brings me to another word. What does deen mean? D-E-N. D-E-E-N. Yeah? That's how we write it.
Religion? Religion?
way or creed.
Do you teach Islam?
He's Arab. That's right.
Yeah, he got it.
He's Arab.
He's Arab.
Oh.
I am really Egyptian, so I speak broken.
Sorry.
Well, I'm a Texan and I speak real good Texas English, but not much English. Anyway, he has it exactly right. And a lot of the Egyptians that I know don't have the ability to translate that. They know what it means in their head, but they don't come up with that. The way of life. Deen is a way of life. So if an atheist, a mulhideen, it comes to you and he says, I don't like organized religion and I don't want a man-made religion. You can tell him, well, Muslims are not organized. and Definitely, it's not a man-made religion. It's a way of life. And in all of the translations, it translates it as religion, religion, religion. But I looked up religion a long time ago when I came into Islam. And I looked up, what does that mean? What does it entail? The word itself. Fear of the gods, plural. Fear of the gods. Yeah. That brings me to another word. What does taqwa mean?
Fear of Allah. Fear of Allah.
Yeah, actually, you're correct in what you're saying. However, I'm asking what the word actually means. The word itself.
Consciousness.
Huh? A shield. A shield. Like you put something up between you and somebody else. That's exactly what it means. Is that right? Yeah? I want to take you with me.
I'd be so honored, wallahi. I'll be more than honored. I wish I can.
MashaAllah. We got to recruit.
This community doesn't want to lose him. He's never coming back. I'll be more than honored.
Oh, okay. I think we're going to have a break. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum.
That's another $50.
These are boxes of a free Quran, and we have truckloads of a free Quran, and I'm Yusuf Estes. And you can support, and you can be a part of this. All you have to do is raise your hands and ask Allah to accept. And then if you would share, that's more reward for you. Share the information. Share these free Qurans. afreequran.com. And you can donate too. $1 for the Quran and $6 total puts it in the house. Yeah. And if you would like to do more, that's more than welcome for afreequran.com. Assalamu alaikum. These are boxes of a free Quran, and we have truckloads of a free Quran, and I'm Yusuf Estes. And you can support, and you can be a part of this. All you have to do is raise your hands and ask Allah to accept. And then if you would share, that's more reward for you. Share the information. Share these free Qurans. afreequran.com. And you can donate too. $1 for the Quran and $6 total puts it in the house. Yeah. And if you would like to do more, that's more than welcome for afreequran.com. Assalamu alaikum. And we are back. Yeah, and if you just tuned in, we're talking about the translations of certain words that maybe you didn't understand. And I didn't understand it until somebody explained it to me. And by the way, he was from Egypt. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So some people really know how to translate everything, or most everything. And it is worth the time and effort to go and sit with them and learn from them. It is really worth it. Because if I didn't do that, I wouldn't know anything. When I came to Islam, I thought I was learning a lot every day. I said, well, when I get, when I know everything. But today, after 34 years? 33 years? Yeah. I'm still learning stuff every day. So, the word we were talking about is taqwa. What is taqwa? And we found out that it means a shield, but why is it starting out Surah Baqarah? The first thing it talks about, Alif Lam Mim, Dhalikul Kitabul La Rayba Fi, Hudal Lil Muttaqeen, a guidance for those who have taqwa. Is that right? Yeah. Right away. Why? Why is it so important?
Yeah, so I believe its meaning is people with God consciousness. Like
God consciousness.
People are fully conscious with God's presence all the time.
Actually, it refers to a word in the 7 verses that we recited before we got started. Because every time we pray, we do the salah, we have to recite something, 7 verses. Yeah. The 7 verses end with the exact reason. غَيْرُ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ. Anybody want to translate that? غَيْرُ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ.
The one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, the ones who got this displeasure of Allah. Allah is unpleased with them, and the Dhalleen, the ones who went astray. And some translators say Ad-Dhalleen are the Christian, Al-Maghdub alayhim are the Jews, because they also mistake.
Actually, I'm just focusing on words, exact translation of words. Gharil Maghdubi. Maghdubi is the word that we need to find out. What does it mean? Maghdubi. It means, they say, some of the translations get it right, but most of them say, fear Allah. Fear of Allah. Because then that is Allah's anger, and they use that. However, I'll give you an example. Somebody cuts in the line ahead of you. You're waiting at the post office. You got to go to work, and you're waiting at the post office, and somebody cuts in front of you. Or somebody jumps in their car and runs it over and gets in front of you at a traffic light. So you get angry, right? But that's not Maghdubi alayhim. That is not. It means somebody's going to do something about it. The guy who gets really, it's called wrath in English. So this guy goes to his trunk of his car and opens it up and gets a tire tool out and starts breaking your windows. Yeah, that's exactly what it means. Wrath. He's going to do something about it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to do something with those folks that don't behave properly. I think it's time for a joke, you know? Yeah. What do you call people that resist the occupation of other people. They occupy their lives, they occupy their land. What do you call them?
Oppressor.
Terrorists. Yeah, right. I put that on Facebook today. I don't know if I have a Facebook account anymore. Keep in mind who owns it. Anyway, alhamdulillah, I couldn't resist that. It popped in my mind. I said, I gotta put that in there. Anyway, whenever we have ghadab, we need to put a shield between us and the ghadab. And that's exactly what it means. So, taqwa is the shield, and ghadab is the wrath of Almighty Allah. Some people get it right. You know, in the translations, they do get it right, the part about the wrath. But I didn't see any, except the scholars of Islam that know English and they know a lot of other languages, and of course they know Arabic. So now, what is salah? You already know that it's not going to be prayer, right? You already know that because I asked you. So, what is salah? Anybody know?
The act of worship.
Huh?
The act of worship.
Yeah. One word. One word for one word. What is salah? Consider, you know this, and you know it better than me.
Connection? No, I don't know.
Yeah, you got it. Ah, he went to in his mind, he went to the root and he said, sila, connection. But it's a special kind of connection because it's not sila, it's what? Salah. Why? Because this connection is a special connection to communicate. Now, long before we had cell phones or computers or even telephones or even the telegraph, long before that, the revelation was in the Quran, talking about a connection with Allah to communicate. That's what it is. It's a communication connection. Wow. They tell me that you get a new wrinkle in your brain every time you learn something. Do you feel wrinkled up? Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. So, what is prayer? In Arabic, what is prayer? Now, we lost what we thought we knew, but now we do have to pray. How can we do that?
Dua. Dua.
Yes, you got it. Dua. Because it means calling. Dua is calling Allah. You're setting up a communication system. You're cleaning yourself. You're facing the Qibla. And you're going through the motions that the Prophet ﷺ did, and you are communicating and opening up that vessel to communicate. Yeah. But what do? Well, you call. And you're asking Allah to fulfill your needs, to fulfill your desires. And right now we're asking all of the brothers to make dua for what we really need, because Allah knows our needs. He knows it better than we do. Not what we want, but what we need. And that's what we should probably hang on to. Not just what we want, but what we really need. And sometimes we don't know what we need. The other word that we have to translate is Muslim. What is a Muslim? Now, we have a head start because we already knew that it is from the word Islam, Islam, somebody that does Islam, like a mu'adhin, a musafir, the traveler. Okay, now we got it. So, a Islam, what is that? A person who is dedicated to submit, surrender, obey, in sincerity and peace and protection and safety. You cannot add the word terrorist to that. You can't. It doesn't make any sense. So if we translate that word for the English speakers, of course, that would be much better. And we do have some books out there on the table that help you. And you can get one or two or three or whatever you need and donate something if you can, because we're not out here for the money, but we want to replace the things that we use. And if you would like to do more, then you'll get the reward of what we can do. So, and that's the only thing that we talk about money, is just for the dawah. If you can do that, then alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. And if you can't, we still have something more important than that, is dua. Dua, dua. Ask Allah to bless us or reward us and keep us on the straight path. And alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, huwa alladhi jalna muslimin. And stay tuned and stay guided with
Guide Us TV.
Guide Us TV. Yeah! I knew somebody would say it. Alhamdulillah. These are boxes of a free Quran, and we have truckloads of a free Quran, and I'm Yusuf Estes. And you can support, and you can be a part of this. All you have to do is raise your hands and ask Allah to accept. And then if you would share, that's more reward for you. Share the information. Share these free Qurans. afreequran.com. And you can donate too. $1 for the Quran and $6